Hey guys, I'm super thrilled to have Mr. Lalit Kalani with me. He is the founder of Rock Paper Rum, and you all must have seen him also on Shark Tank India. So I'm super excited for this episode. Welcome, Lalit, to this episode, and I'm really looking forward to having a fun chat with you and learning a lot also from your industry. So welcome aboard. And I would like to start off a little bit on your early life. Did you always want to be in this industry, and a little bit about your growing years? If you could share some light on that. So over to you.
Sure. Thanks, Siddhant. Thanks for having me and really looking forward to this chat. It's been a while since we've been trying to schedule this, but yeah. So a little bit about my journey. I'm born and raised in Mumbai. Moved to the US actually pretty early on after my 10th. So went there for boarding school for my 11th, 12th, then went to NYU for college. Came back actually and worked in our family business, which I'll get into, which was in the liquor business. So did that for about 3 years before heading back to the US for my MBA, and then lived in the US after that for another 12 years, right? So pretty much till 2020, spent about 18 years in the US and moved back right before COVID actually with my US job, right? And that's, moved back to India, loved being back, being around your family, looking at everything that's happening here. And then eventually in 2022, decided to make the jump and back into sort of that entrepreneurial life, right? But a little bit about sort of, as your question, did I always see myself in the liquor industry? So just for background, my family had been in the business for about 50 years or so. So there has been a long legacy within the industry, but my parents are now completely retired. In fact, retired about 10, 15 years back. So that wasn't there. And part of that retirement was also, I was living abroad. I didn't have plans to come back to the industry, but of course, as fate would have it, I decided to enter the industry again in 2022. So I think it's just more serendipitous, opportunistic, moving back, right? And then entering into the industry. It has been that legacy in the past that's definitely been helpful, throughout this journey.
Okay. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, to hear, Lalit. Okay, tell me something. What have you learned? You think from being in this industry, that people should know. What are the challenges you faced, or it's never easy to grow a business or to expand a certain business. So, what are the kind of challenges or any kind of tips you would like to for people to know who's already in your trade and would want to probably get into your trade? So, you could share some light on that as well, please.
Sure. So I think the liquor industry is one of the most hardest industries or businesses that's there today, right? I mean, every business, every industry is hard, but I would say liquor is, and alcohol is especially even harder, as you have, for a whole lot of reasons, right? Everything from each state having different policies. You have a lot of restrictions when it comes to various forms of manufacturing, licensing. So a lot of that has remained, right? We've seen for other parts and other industries, GST taking over. There's uniform sort of taxation, etc.,
Yeah.
which is not the case here, right? So getting that understanding of each state and how to navigate that is important. There are also some really, really large players that control a lot of the market and have a lot more leverage, right? So starting from scratch or starting from zero,
Right.
it requires a lot of just you're against a lot of headwind, right?
Right.
So it's and from these big brands also who have the best distributors, etc. So you need those kind of partners. So those are some of the challenges that obviously one faces. And then of course one of the things I learned through this journey was raising venture capital or raising capital in the alcohol industry is harder than other
Yeah.
industries also,
Yeah.
because a lot of VCs, private equity players, don't invest in alcohol, mainly because of various reasons. I mean, obviously from industry standpoint, but also it doesn't fit in certain ESG norms for them, etc., etc. So So a lot of the fundraising avenues that are available for a lot of other industries or businesses, that sort of significantly gets cut down, right? So that was something that was a surprise to me, because that wasn't the case, at least in the US when I was there, for an industry specific issue, right? So I think those are the different kinds of challenges, sort of, to be, go in eyes wide open. But that being said, it's also a very exciting time to be in the industry, right? So challenges aside, you are seeing a lot of different sort of consumer behavior happening than there was 20 years ago, right? So if you ask my family or my dad, like, hey, if you're launching a rum or a gin or a whiskey, it would almost sound
Yeah,
impossible to
yeah,
build a brand from scratch, versus today people are so open to trying brands. And not only that, I would say the India story is really growing, right? So
growing.
I
Yeah.
think that's one of the things that where Indians are actually now proud to drink and consume Indian alcohol and liquor, right? Like, quality of Indian alcohols has gone up, Indian brands have gone up. So I think that is something that's also made it exciting to be in the industry at this time, right?
Okay. Tell me
Yeah.
something, Lalit. So, everyone has seen you on Shark Tank India. It would want to know a little bit on your journey towards that episode with them, and how did you always like manifest you wanted to be in going to Shark Tank India, and a little bit on that, if you could just brief us out.
Sure. So being on Shark Tank India is definitely something I manifested, and something I looked for, right? I mean, being in the US, I've seen Shark Tank from season one, right? And I was a big fan. And in fact, I had applied for Shark Tank US when I had my first US company, which was another consumer brand, but in the US, and I'd applied for there. I didn't get onto Shark Tank there, but I'd gotten onto another similar concept television show for that company too. So it's being on Shark Tank has always been or had always been sort of a dream, right? From the US, since when it started in the US. So it's something that I've always thought about. And finally, when I applied for Shark Tank India season three, it was more heck, I have nothing to lose by sending in an application, right? And throughout that journey, it was very much that kind of, there's no harm in trying it out.
Yeah.
So I think the whole process took about, I mean, we aired on March 14th this year, 2024. But the application process started in June or July.
Okay.
Almost like a good 9 month journey and wait. So you go through the application process online. Then, of course, if you get selected through that, then you send in a video. And then you go into like physical, actual, or in-person auditions, and then finally. So it was multiple rounds to get to the final, being on the set with the Sharks, which happened about in September for myself. And then, of course, that long, gruesome wait of 6 months, and whether you'll be aired or not, right? Because you only find out if you're aired like a few days before it actually airs. So
Yeah.
till then, you have no idea whether it's going to air or not, and how to prepare for it, etc. But it's something that is exhilarating. I always wanted to be on that, and I'm glad that sort of dream came true.
Yeah. Also, Lalit, tell me something. How is rock paper rum different from the others? What are the USPs which y'all do, and which make y'all stand out? So, you would want to tell me something on that?
So rock paper rum, we wanted to be a very flavor forward, a category or rum, or build flavor forward products, right? So I think one of the big USPs that we've had from the beginning, when we launched our spice rum, was it was a very unique flavor profile, using Indian spices, botanicals, etc., to build that India forward spice rum. And spice rums is still a very fast moving, growing sort of segment within the rum segment globally. So flavor forward was something, and we, as we've seen, flavors are trending. So we've just been on, we've checked that box, and now we have a zesty lemon, a tropical coconut, a rose coffee. So we're always experimenting with newer flavors, and that's what we want to bring as part of our USP there, right? Of course, then beyond the flavors and the product quality itself, we also focused a lot on our branding and packaging, right? So we, rather than just having the regular round startup bottle that every startup starts with. We make investments in the bottle, in the mold, to make it stand out. It's different from other rum bottles and how they're shaped, so it can stand out on shelves. And then we did quite a bit of focus and time on actually the branding and the packaging around it, because at the end of the day, your branding and packaging has to tell a story, right? And whatever your story is. So for us, it was about the story about taking a chance, right? Which obviously the name Rock Paper Rum is based on the game Rock
Yeah,
Paper Scissors, which
yeah,
is a game about taking a chance.
yeah.
And that's what we felt represented what New India is all about. So that's the story we want our brand and packaging to talk about. So multiple USPs across the board, and yeah, so and that's what sort of brings us
Yeah, but
at least
I'd like to add
forward.
something also for the viewers. That I have been closely seeing Lalit's journey. He's doing fantastic events now. He's really doing some nice shows. With nightclubs, lounges, and various other forums which he's doing. So this is something, and in a very different concept. Every time his concept is something different. So it's something always fresh. To the table. So that is something which is very nice, which I'm seeing, and kudos to you and your team for that. Um, Tell me something, Lalit.
Yeah.
What are the crucial traits you think one must possess to get into this industry?
I think perseverance, and just being ready to take the punches, get up again, and keep going. Right. I think there are a lot of surprises that one will face. Policies keep changing. You will be caught off guard, but I think that's where perseverance is really really important. And I would say that goes across entrepreneurship in general. But I would say that one trait that I think you really have to have that passion for it, because there are a lot more hurdles and obstacles in this journey that one needs. If you don't have the passion or the right reasons to do it, right, I think it's very easy to just to fall apart, or raise your hands up, right? And of course, with perseverance comes patience, right? Building a brand in general, forget liquor or any brand, is a long-term game, right? If you're thinking something will change in a year or 2 years, or 3 or 4 also, right? It's those are very, very rare stories, right? Typically you'll see success, after 8 to 10 years. I feel it's only after year three do you know if will you know if your brand can become something or not, right? I think the first 3 years, it's just finding the right footing, the right market, the right marketing,
Right.
the right consumers, how to reach them, product trials, tweaks. So it's still a lot of trial and error.
Okay, where do we see Rock Paper Rum in like the next 5 years? What are the expansion plans which the company is planning to make, or you're planning to introduce? Would you like to say something on that?
Sure. So in our journey right now, right, it's been a very methodical sort of process. We spent about a good year and a half just in Maharashtra and Mumbai, which is where we are based. Last year we were in one state. The next couple years will be more expanding into other states within India. I think this year we should end up in about another 8 states or so. So we should be operating pan India in that form. But I would say that would be the next couple of years. Would make sure, like, let's say our supply chain, our production, our distribution, everything is sort of stabilized within India. And then of course after that, I would look at us as in having a little bit more international presence as well, right? So make sure our India story is fitting well, and of course Indian brands are being well perceived overseas as well. So I think over time we will see this have some global presence as well, especially with that growth. But I would say overall, right, as a company, for us, when I started this, my vision has always been to build a portfolio of craft liquor brands. But as every portfolio, right, you'll notice it has one hero product that leads the way. And for us, that's Rock Paper Rum. So as soon as Rock Paper Rum is established, and we're driving some decent volumes, and it's on the right trajectory, we are looking to hopefully launch new products and new categories, etc. Just to fulfill that portfolio vision that we have, right? And I think there's a lot of opportunity within that. But building one brand is hard enough. Building
Yeah.
multiple at the same time is a whole different ball game, right? And I think for us right now, the next 3 years, I would say, would be still focus on rock paper rum before we start thinking about a broader portfolio.
So hopefully looking forward the brand coming soon to Calcutta.
Yeah, and we've gone through the application process, etc., and hoping to launch in West Bengal soon this year. And it's a great rum drinking market. So
Okay.
very excited to be in West Bengal, Calcutta, and the Northeast in general.
Lovely. Okay, so now I'm just going to do something fun. I'm going to do a little bit of a rapid fire round with you, just to know you personally and your likes. You ready? Can we start?
Sure. No,
Okay,
let's
great.
go.
So what is Lalit's go-to liquor, which he can drink 7 days a week?
Rock, paper, rum. It's the
Besides your
fastest
brand,
I
I
had
need
to
to ask
go.
that besides your brand.
7 days a week, I would stick with a tequila origin.
What is your favorite restaurant in the world?
Favorite restaurant. So right now it's Link and Bardo, and it's because I met my wife. Our first date was there, so I would
Wow.
say that's the first
And
restaurant that came.
your favorite cuisine, which you can eat again 7 days a week.
7 days a week. Honestly, my kryptonite is chaat, so I could eat that 7 days a week.
Okay. Something, you think that we as millennials have with the Gen Zs don't in today's time.
Patience.
Okay. Patience. What is Lalit's go-to sweet dessert, whether it's Western or Indian? What is your favorite guilt pleasure when it comes to a sweet treat?
I, ice cream.
Ice
Ice cream. There's yeah.
Who is
Can't say no to ice cream.
who is Lalit's favorite, like, or the topmost competitor when it comes to the rum?
My favorite rums, Diplomatico, I would say is a great rum that I really enjoy that. So I would say, yeah, that's in the rum category. That would be my favorite.
And what is your favorite holiday destination, which you just go, to just laze around, or you just want to get out when sometimes you want to just free your mind?
I I think I don't have a single favorite. I usually love exploring, so I will pick a new place, country to go to. And depending on the mood, it'll either be a beach area or it'll be the hills, mountains. So it really depends on what the focus is if I need to, pick one. But yeah, that's I love traveling. Probably my goal was to hit 40 countries under 40. Did
Right.
that last year. So
Wow.
picking a new place is sort of what I go for. But that being said, I mean, this last year I've traveled. I mean, in the last 4 or 5 months, just within India, traveling to states I've never visited before, right? And I think that I love this work also because it's taking me to places even within India that I would have never uh gone so openly, right? And it's amazing to see what's out here, and hopefully that will continue to grow as well.
Yeah, but I think that's also good, when it takes you to places, I feel even your networking becomes strong. You meet different kinds of people, like-minded people, and there's so much to learn, there's never like you always keep growing, you always keep learning. So I think that, like every time you go, you meet people, go to a new place, there's always a new culture or a new personality you meet, and then accordingly you yourself, grow, I feel. So yeah, kudos to you for that as well, Lalit. Thank you for these questions. Now, my one last question to you for today would be, what would your message be to the community in this industry? And how can one grow? How can one evolve? And what would that be from your side to them?
So the message to people in the industry is I would say there are a lot of big players out there, right? And for what it's worth, you know, a lot of the people that are, you know, in hand working with the larger players is do give Indian brands a chance. It's not, I mean, most of the players in India, the big ones, are run by foreign corporations, are you know, are mostly foreign corporations. So give Indian brands a chance. Let us stand out as well. There's a lot of opportunity for Indian brands and Indian products to come up. So I would say, you know, both for people in the industry as well as the governments, right, that have favorable policies that are easier for larger companies to work, you know, navigate. Definitely, you know, allow the community within India to you know, grow the Indian products and the Indian brands community. And then for people who want to enter the industry, you know, as I said earlier, right, that yes, there are a lot of challenges, but it's also a very, very exciting time with a lot of growth, and we're seeing a lot of the things that were done in the West, from products to marketing activities, etc., coming to India, right? So it's a great time to actually be in the industry, you know, whether it's as an entrepreneur or you know, you're working for a company too, right? It's a very dynamic time to be here right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Lalit. It was such a pleasure always chatting with you. I've personally known you for years, so it's always nice to, again connect and know your vision forward. And I'm super proud of all the achievements and the accolades which you're getting right now. So kudos to you, your team, and everyone behind Rock Paper Rum. Wishing them lots and lots of success and keep shining, my friend. So
Thanks, Siddhant. Yeah.
look forward to seeing you soon in person again, and take care. And cheers once again.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thanks. All right. Bye.